What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Algae Ranch. My name is Charlotte, and today we're going to work in the garden a little bit. The cucumbers that we have are pretty much done for the season, I believe. So I'm going to take those off. I'll show you guys what they look like. And then that spot I'm going to replace and put some beets in there instead. So we grew some beets earlier this season, and when we harvested them and cut them up and everything, we were like, okay, this is enough for Jay to basically eat in one sitting. So we're gonna need some more if he's actually gonna snack on those. So we're gonna do that. Paul's gonna play with his ball the whole time. And kind of check out the rest of the garden, because we may have to weed out a decent amount. Honestly, the grass hasn't been growing insanely, as insane as it was earlier in the season. So I haven't even gone in there and really weed whacked or anything. So we'll see what it looks like. Kind of neglected it for a little bit, but we'll get to it. The cucumbers are honestly kind of spiky, which I didn't really realize until I started to take some of these off the vine, and it like pricked my fingers a couple times. So that's why I have gloves. We got so many cucumbers off of this. Like, I'm still looking at it, and there's still some that look really good on here, which is crazy because the actual plant does not look great anymore. And I even started like cutting it off, and like a lot of these leaves are just done for. So this is really bare, mostly because I cut it off, but also like you can see they're dying right there. But look at this. We have, one right here, and that looks good. Some in here. Like, that's just crazy. Our cucumbers were definitely the best harvest that we had. I'll actually show you the cucumbers really quickly too. Or not cucumbers, tomatoes. Because the plants look pretty good. That one's struggling a little bit, but the plants look pretty good. See, like the leaves and everything. But all of the tomatoes that have come up at all are just turning green. So these had a little bit of a later start. So I'm pretty sure that that's part of the reason why once it got hot, they started to show up. So far, not a single one has ripened up where we can actually pick it. So that was kind of a bummer. We had some things go really well in here, and I was honestly just like really excited about that. This bed is going crazy. This one had the watermelon in it, and the watermelon plants have just gotten absolutely massive, but none of the watermelons are ready to harvest yet. So I'm like, come on, give me some watermelon if I got all this going on. We're gonna get started with the cucumbers. We're not gonna do a whole entire garden tour today. So, like, look at these leaves though. They do not look very good, and they're still, I guess this one's not producing. Yeah, it is producing cucumbers. This is ridiculous. Like, that does not look good. And then there's a cucumber right there. Crazy. I'm not kidding. We've had so many cucumbers, and I did learn how to make pickles too. So anyways, without further ado, I'm gonna pick these last cucumbers off of here so that we at least have them. Another thing that we've been doing with the cucumbers that we get off of here, because like I said, we've just gotten so many, is freezing them. And then Zeus loves them, so he just chews on them, which maybe I'll go give him one right now. What are you doing? Zeus, what are you doing? He's bored. He gets bored. I'll give him one to entertain him. Zeus is the only one that gets one, but that's just because, like, literally it's just a frozen cucumber. Zeus, hey, look. He's the only one that likes them. Zeus, what you got? Oh my gosh. Are you serious? Is that your frozen cucumber? Yep. So that'll entertain him for a little bit. And this is what entertains Apollo. Titan really does just do his own thing, but I honestly love being out here in the mornings. Yeah, for my own self, because I like to just be outside first thing in the morning, but they are able to get some energy out and just be outside before we go inside and work all day. So I always make sure that we come out here, but we still got a bunch of these cucumbers. Like, it's honestly insane how many there are. I also saw something where if you let them get too ripe, then the plant dies because it thinks that it's completed its job and its purpose in life by producing seeds. So that also might have been what made them kind of start to die. I didn't necessarily see one that was like absolutely massive that I missed, but I said, could have missed it. Could have missed it, so fine. Got a watermelon out there for the chickens. Zeus loving his frozen cucumber. Everybody's happy. Except for Apollo, because he can't get me to throw his ball. Come here. Good boy. Good boy. Let me put these gloves on and then we'll start working on that cucumber thing. One of my favorite things about the cows being up here while we're working is that whenever I'm just in here in the garden, they're right here with me. They're coming up here to get some water. You can kind of see them behind Rosie. They're making their way. They're being slow this morning. It is a really, honestly, nice morning out here. Look at this. How could you not just love that? A lot of times we just look at it like what we need to get done next. But every once in a while, you just gotta be like, man, this is so nice. So I try to just soak it up. Even though there's like brush piles and stuff everywhere, which if you are interested in learning more about what we're doing with that, we share all of that on the ranch channel. So for a while we were thinking about just combining the two and keeping it all in one place, but we have so many projects going on and so many different things that we're working on, so we were like, all right, well, maybe it does just make more sense to have the two channels instead of trying to cram them all into one. So that is what we were doing. I'm not really sure like the best way to necessarily go about this, but literally my goal is to just get them out of here. I'm also hoping that having more sun on the tomatoes after this is gone is going to help that too. So, because this just created a huge wall for the tomatoes, and this spot is already pretty shaded just because we got, honestly, this massive tree right above this, but then we have trees over there, over here, so the trees really are surrounding this, like literally I'm just ripping this down, which might make some of you absolutely cringe, but this makes sense to me if my goal is to just get rid of it. So if you know of a better way to do this, feel free to let me know and I will work on that for next year. But right now, this is what we're doing. I'm just gonna make a pile right there. Honestly, having this wall of cucumber leaves has just been really cool and satisfying to watch. This is my first garden I've ever done, so a lot of it was experimental. A lot of it was just me trying to learn what I even like about the garden and what how to do everything, just getting familiar with the plants. So if I'm being honest, I didn't have like, obviously I wanted to do well because I didn't want to just waste all the time and seeds and beds and space that we did to used to make it happen. But I didn't have like major expectations for everything to be like perfect or anything. So just seeing all of this grow up here and really just take over this trellis, it was just really cool to see, and just really, it was just a beautiful little tunnel up here, which I did get some videos, I think, of what that looked like. So hopefully you saw before it started to look rotten and gross. And now the cows have made their way up. Their water is right here, so they always make their way up here eventually. We have 16 in the herd now, which is so exciting. Over the weekend, we went and got 2 more cows, and that was our first standby trash guys here. What I was saying is, so over the weekend we went to go get 2 more cows, which was our first trip. She does not like that guy just touched our trash can, I think, but she's literally just, that's hilarious. Over the weekend was the first time we went to go get the cows. Borrowed somebody's truck and trailer and went and got them. And it was so much fun. It was like a 2-hour road trip. And it was the first time Jay had driven a truck and a trailer that far. And it was just really fun. So there they go. She is like really checking out our trash can. Oh, Zeus. He has been really on guard with these horse flies. Zeus. You okay? Come here. You're okay. I don't see it on you. You don't got nothing on you. Hi. Wow. That was interesting. Zeus is definitely our outdoorsy dog. Any chance he gets, he's outside. That one just pulled the roots right out of the ground. All right. Progress so far. Doing the cattle panel trellis was awesome, just because one, it was relatively easy to set up. I did it by myself, so that kind of made it difficult, but it was like super sturdy. Like, I'm pulling pretty hard on these things and I'm not even worried about it coming down. So we just had some T-posts, put those right in the ground. I have 3 across, and then did a trellis, which was before we even started any of our YouTube stuff. So I did not film it, but honestly, right after I did it, I was like, man, just for my own entertainment, I wish I did film that, because it was kind of funny, like, doing that by myself. Because, I mean, trying to fold 2 cattle panels into an arch by myself was, I mean, I know I just said it was relatively easy to set up, but that was kind of difficult. But, I mean, I could do it by myself, which is why I say it was easy to set up. But one side would, like, be good, and then the other side would fall, and vice versa, so. And then the cattle panels were just swinging all over the place, and I did knock over one of our plants. But I was trying to bring it back to life ever since. Which it's actually doing pretty good. It was this one right here. It's our grapevine, which we kind of just got before we had a great plan for where we were going to put it, so probably not the best move. Because now I'm still trying to find a spot for it. Honestly, I could even just put it on this trellis, which I did think about before, because it needs something to grow up on, and it just doesn't have anything to grow up on right now. So you can see it has those little things that hold on to a wire, which, I mean, if you've seen a vineyard, you've seen grapevines, but it needs something to climb on, and it has nothing right now. Getting there. Making some good progress. Honestly, if it were just the cucumbers that were up here, I'd probably take the trellis down just because I just want to plant beets. But it is a support for the tomatoes as well. So I'm gonna have to leave it up, which is fine. The only problem is these beds are so wide that this stuff over here is kind of hard to get to. Like I said, I'm just planting beets, and those you do not need. You do not need a trellis for it, obviously, because they don't grow up at all. They're root plants. So I'm gonna have to kind of work around this, which is kind of another reason why I'm considering actually replanting that grapevine over here, because I gotta leave this thing here anyway. So might not be a bad idea. Aw, the one we got left. I'll keep it there just for that little bee. Look at these things. This was the first time I've ever seen stuff grow up a vine. And I just thought these little, they looked like hands wrapping around. I just thought they were so interesting. All right, well, it's empty now, which is crazy. That's such a sad little cucumber. Chickens will eat it, I bet. Or Zeus. Wow, that looks so weird now. That cucumber, those cucumbers were on here for so long that I just got used to having them in here. Our strawberries did not do very well. Strawberries last year didn't do very well either. They were one of the few plants that I planted in a pot at our old house. and I didn't get anything hardly off of those either, so maybe strawberries just aren't my thing. Just kidding. I'm gonna need to do some research on how to grow strawberries better, because something I'm doing just is not right. Huge. I don't even know if this one will be any good, but these will be the last of our little cucumbers. There was a point where we were getting like 11 cucumbers in a day. So we are not low on pickles or cucumbers or anything. We were trying to give them away, pickle them, freeze them, mainly for Zeus. I don't know what else you would do with a frozen cucumber, unless you know something I don't know. All right, well, right now I'm just picking up the extra little leaves that fell in the bed, but we're almost done taking the cucumbers out. I was working on the well house a couple of days ago, and I'm not even kidding, the whole time there was a horsefly circling me. Literally, the whole time. But I never got bit, thankfully. Cucumbers are off. Crazy, it's kind of bittersweet. The beginning of the end of our first spring garden. That was so much fun though. And it still is. I mean, obviously we still have a lot. Next year we are gonna put this in a different spot. Our goal was to not put the garden into pasture, but everywhere up here does have a tree right above it. So that's something that we'll just have to figure out for next year, which is fine. But we do kind of want to start planning out our garden early while all of it is just fresh in our brains from what we've learned already. Really, really enjoy just being out here and working on it and stuff too. So, all right, we got some more seeds. These seeds I literally just got from our local farm store. I didn't do any crazy seed research digging or anything like that. They're just organic beet seeds. You might have seen these before, but we are going to go ahead and put these in the ground. Hi Zeus, what are you doing? He's actually our youngest dog, and he probably weighs the same amount that I weigh. They're like clusters. So I'm literally just gonna make little divots in the dirt, put them in there, and cover them back up. See, this is what I was talking about, how it's just annoying with the trellis. So these are all just kind of like things that, you know, you can't really expect to be perfect at it like right away. So instead of just getting frustrated that it's like that, I'm just like, all right, well, for next year, we'll plan out a little bit better. Learning from it for next year, and that's what it's all about, I think. All right, well, those seeds are all in there. Cucumbers are out, so we're done with that project for the day. I'm just gonna water them, and then we'll be done for the morning. So for a while, I had the hose hooked up to the house, and then came straight in here. That I only have down here when the cows are down in the main pasture. Reason being, because in the main pasture, they have a whole pond for their water source, but when they're up here, we have to give them water from the hose. So we moved that hose over there. So that, I mean, we need to give them water like multiple times a day, so this makes more sense. And this is why it takes forever for my buckets to fill up. They have unlimited water right there all the time, so they're not struggling for water. Get you some water, Tai. You don't really have to get it from that bucket, but that's fine. The hose is so much better. Honestly, we've gotten so much rain this year. Oh my gosh, it looks so weird without the cucumbers on there. That I honestly haven't even really had to do this that much realistically. So it's not terrible. Another project we're gonna work on soon is organizing the shed. This is kind of a painfully slow way to do it, but honestly, whenever I did water the garden like this, I paid a lot more attention to what was happening just because I was all up in there. It was kind of nice. All right, well, those are watered. I just did this line and then some over here, but now we got this open trellis. So, project done. Planting seeds directly is always kind of like underwhelming after you do it because it doesn't look like you did anything. This year I did have better luck with stuff that I planted directly in the ground. Honestly, one of my favorite parts about the ranch is just watching them play, run around, and do whatever they want because they absolutely love it. It's so cute, especially Zeus. But I mean, when Titan starts running, he's like a puppy again, so it's adorable. Obviously, you know, Apollo plays with his ball constantly, so I'm not worried about him getting some exercise in either. Now I'm just grabbing these cucumbers that I picked earlier. We've been eating a crazy amount of cucumbers, and yet they still sound good to me, so. Hi. Hello. No, you can't have all of them. They're not all for you. You would eat all of them if you could. I tried to give some to the chickens at one point, and I literally couldn't because he just kept trying to take it every time it was on the ground. Look at that. It looks crazy with nothing on there now. No, they're not for you. Not for you. No, I'm just teasing you. All right, you boys want to go in? You can go in. Smells like hamburgers in here because it is 8 in the morning and I make Jay's lunches in the morning. And so it just smells like hamburger in there at 8 in the morning and it's weird. Hey, dude. He hated with his guts being inside. So we had to make his little house out here. Hi, Tucky. Hi, dude. Hello. I'm not gonna move you. Don't worry. We'll let you be, Tucky. I'll leave you alone. He's like, thank you. That'd be great. He does not like very much attention. If it were up to me, he'd be an indoor cat and he'd sit on my lap all the time. But that is just not the type of cat that he is. So he has become a barn cat. And that is what he will always be. And he loves it, so it's fine. Anyways, that's pretty much all I had for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for hanging out with me. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.